Good morning, Earlhamites, and welcome to Fall 2. Since my last video update 2 weeks ago, we've launched a new academic term. We've wrapped up a successful virtual homecoming, and we finalized plans to help us maintain a safe and healthy environment for the rest of the calendar year. And we're now in the midst of the fall board meeting, once again held virtually. This, of course, makes things a bit hectic around my office, but it is always so great to see our trustees, the majority of whom were our students. And I will tell you that they remind me a lot of our current students. If you haven't read Chris Little's 5 Things You Need to Know email from yesterday, please do. Chris is our Director of Public Safety and the convener of our crisis management team. I like to say it's the longest serving crisis management team in the history of the world. His message from this week includes important details about upcoming deadlines to participate in COVID testing and to receive flu shots. Remember, both of those are required. While we have never had a severe outbreak of COVID on our campus, these steps are in place to ensure that we keep it that way and that we eliminate unnecessary distractions for our students. And I would call getting a case of COVID or the flu a distraction for our students. We have less than 2 months before the end of the fall portion of the academic year, and I am feeling very confident that we are going to finish strong. I want to take a moment to celebrate Gretchen Castle, the Dean of the Earlham School of Religion and Earlham College alum, who just returned from a trip to Rome to participate in a gathering of religious leaders from around the globe. The event, which is called Faith and Science Towards COP26, took place at the Vatican. For the last year, Gretchen and other faith leaders have been meeting virtually to develop a statement that will be delivered during the United Nations Climate Change Conference, which is taking place in Glasgow in November. COP26 is referring to this being the 26th annual climate change conference of the parties, hence COP26. Faith and science was covered broadly by different media outlets around the world. And in fact, if you watch Al Jazeera's coverage of the event, you will spot Gretchen speaking during the proceedings. I found that very exciting. It was great to see her in the foreground with the Pope in the background. Pretty cool. Throughout her career, Gretchen has represented Quakers on a global stage. And this is another wonderful extension of that work. It also aligns with Gretchen's own passion for climate justice. Thank you, Gretchen, for representing Earlham and Quakers so well and for contributing to the international conversation around climate change. In case you missed my email earlier this week, I was happy to be able to share the finalized diversity, equity, and inclusion action plan. Although, of course, we'll always be iterating on that. I'd like to thank members of the Diversity Progress Committee who engaged in deep and expansive conversations with members of the Earlham community to create this plan. It really was an incredibly consultative process. I look forward to seeing and celebrating the progress we'll make toward our goals in this area. So here's another exciting piece of news to share with you this week. We just received a major grant, over $400,000, from the National Endowment for the Humanities American Rescue Plan Initiative. This grant, which is part of the federal COVID relief program, will help us purchase instructional technology for teaching in the humanities. It will support operations costs and purchase equipment to archive collections at Lilly Library and Joseph Moore Museum. I want to thank Sarah Paul, who led a group in writing and submitting the proposal. And that group includes Amy Bryant, Annalisa Lewis, Jenny Freed, and Maggie Thomas. Honestly, grant writing these days really does take a large group, and Sarah did a beautiful job moving everything through that process. It wouldn't have happened without her. The grant will also support hiring 3 temporary positions to advance key humanities initiatives on campus. This is an especially big boost for the future archival needs of some of our vast collections, including the Native American collection in the Joseph Moore Museum and materials from the Friends United Meeting collection. We'll share an announcement about this grant on the college's website shortly. Not quite sure when it's going to show up. Before I finish this week's update, I want to express my appreciation to everyone who participated in our successful search for a new provost and vice president of academic affairs. Earlier this week, I announced that Tara Natarjan had accepted my offer to join the college's senior leadership team. Tara comes to us from serving as Dean of Faculty at St. Michael's College in Vermont, where she's been on the economics faculty for almost 20 years. I was very impressed with Tara's faculty and student-centered approach and her enthusiasm for Earlham's consensus governance, not something we get a lot of. So I was happy to see that she recognized how powerful it could be, just as has been my experience. Besides her impressive experience and qualifications, Tara's the first person of color to serve in this role at Earlham and the first international cabinet member. With Tara's hire, we've completed the work of building one of the most diverse senior leadership teams, the cabinet, in the history of the college, and the first that is majority women. We started this search in March by consulting with faculty to determine our needs as a community, and based on that feedback, we launched a national search. I'm particularly grateful to the search committee led by Mike Dybel and to our consultants from Academic Search who helped us build an incredibly strong and diverse applicant pool. Additionally, I'd like to thank all of you who took the time to attend the interviews and submit community feedback, which helped to inform the decision to hire Tara. This is very important. Finally, I'd like to express my gratitude to our Dean team, Maggie Thomas, James Logan, and Mike Dybel for providing outstanding leadership as interim deans for the last year. And that is it for this week's update. Good luck to everyone on a successful fall 2. This will be the last mini semester of the academic year before we return to the traditional 15-week semester that most of us are accustomed to. I know many people will be celebrating that return, and I know some people really love the mini semesters, so I'm sorry for that. But really, the majority of campus, particularly students, really did want to move back to the semester system that they were accustomed to. So thank you, all of you, for everything that you do for Earlham to make it the best place that it can be. And remember, the world needs Earlham and Earlhamites now more than it ever has. Bye.